Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking to our distinguished guest, Mr. T.M. Ahmed Kaysher. He is the director, the president of Shoda. He was explaining the work of Shoda, the Society for the Promotion of Classical Indian Music. And also he was talking about the remedial work of the music. And I'm a bit intrigued by this word, remedial. What does it correct?
Well, this is, I was talking about the quite a psychological functions of music. Music is used as a therapy.
Right.
And it is a proven way.
It can make us happy.
Yeah, because especially the more we are becoming urbanized, the more psychological complex we are inviting actually. Urbanization and modernization has a direct link to neurosis and psychosis. You know.
Why do they say that our sad songs are our best songs?
Well, this is a Keats' famous poetry, famous poem, famous verse from Nightingale. That is true for our Indian classical music too, because somehow the most profound ragas are linked to the sadness and sorrowness. And that is probably true for Western. Also, all the Western symphonies are designed for jolly mood as well, but mainly, probably this is a type of the construction of human being or emotion. The emotional construction of a human being. You won't have a profound. You won't be in a profound thinking process until you are somehow probably, I should say, correct me if I'm wrong, sadly connected, because sadness somehow replaces the word profoundness.
Yeah, you are serious.
When you are jolly, yes. When you are jolly, you are not serious at all. But when you are sad, you are thinking so much. So sadness somehow links to a very profound stage of our human being.
Looking at your life, the area around you, with a different profoundness than you would be jumping up and down and enjoying life.
So I always say, that is also quoted from one of our teachers who used to say, who used to ask me, when did you cry last? So you can't be you can't be a serious man unless you cry secretly once in a month or something like this. So it looks like that it has somehow connection to.
But to many people today, I mean, in our modern societies, the big boys don't cry. and to see being sorry or being sad is often related to is kind of weakness in personalities. That may not be true, but this is how it is portrayed, isn't it? See? Now let's come back to music. See?
Yeah. So, well, this is true. I mean, but music has a very well, in my understanding, even though if you are serious, or even though if you go through huge crisis in your mind or something like this, so I mean psychological crisis probably, music works. Although this is a sad music. I mean, you will see Rabindranath Tagore says, Anando dhara bohichavi bhuvane rag malkosh. But rag malkosh is again a reserve mode, I mean, displays a reserve mode of a human being. And then, although you are saying Ananda dhara, but you are reflecting a very profound pain of human being. So although what you are saying that is not true, what is you portraying, what you are portraying is completely different. So like that's why probably you mentioned that is a very well quoted verses from
music can
Shelley.
alleviate your feelings, it can make you sad, it can make you serious, it can make you jump with joy and all that. And that's why people dance to
but this sadness is not designed to make you sad.
Right.
This sadness is something that makes you to have a quest,
Yep.
to have a quest to explore more and more. I mean, to take you to a serious phase.
Right.
So this sadness, also, although this is all about sadness, sorrowness, but this sadness, when you probably, well, we have got so many influxes of audiences who are quite new audience, and then they always say, probably, well, when you look at from the stage to the
Right.
audience, you find so many people are sort of
Well,
closing
we
their
have
eyes
got a
and
video
listening.
waiting for us.
All right, okay.
Let us
let's-
have that,
yeah.
and then probably
We'll
our
probably
audience will
continue talking.
understand it more what you're talking about.
Oh, beautiful.
Can we have the video, please?
Main aim and objective is to create new audience. We are trying to amalgamate with poetry and classical music, bringing new young talents, young poets to come forward to read their own poetry. And the main objective is people who are poetry lovers. It can be Urdu poetry, it can be Persian poetry, English poetry. They are coming to listen to poetry. At the same time, they are getting a taste of the ocean of Indian classical music. We have been trying the amalgamation with poetry and classical music. It's a new concept. Eric Schillender has been with us from the day one. Whole thing is about togetherness. We are trying to get the whole community to come, be involved, be a part of our concerts, be a part of our projects. We do quite a lot of seminars, we do festivals, we do school workshops with little children. It's getting everyone have their talents so that we can actually promote them. At the same time, we create something like a guldasta, we call it, a flower, bouquet flower.
Poetry as a media that will interpret the mood of classical music, because people always find struggling different verses that interpret classical music in a better way. We have researched and we have chosen verses of poetry.
The rains have come. The rains have come. The rains have come. The fields are flooded. My heart is flooded. My heart is flooded with the pain of my love. With the pain of my love. She is far, far away, across the dark waters. I have had no word for far, far too long. Far, far too long. And my hope is trying not to drown. My hope is trying not to drown. My tears fall, counting the time. My tears fall, counting the time, till her words reach me. Oh, my hopes die.
Well, that was a good recital and good tabla, but because of the shortness or the video is not long enough, we couldn't have.
But they are actually, they are the
But,
best.
but I'm sure that next time when we have them, we will have the entire group here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
When did you establish this society?
About 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years. So 2012.
And
February 2012.
what triggered you, the establishment of the society, and who
Well,
are the other persons behind it?
Because I had like I said, I had a serious admiration for serious art form, poetry and classical music. So I managed to go to one of the concert of Chandraji, who is one of the finest Indian classical vocalists, like I've said before. And somebody else, well, before I went to Chandraji's event, someone, a friend of mine actually, who has a significant journey in classical music, Indian classical music, called Syed Prince, he actually sent me a link of Chandraji's Mand. She was singing a Mand, a beautiful Mand, and I was going through huge personal crisis at that time, and music was the only way, only
solace.
Only solace, yes. Music was only solace to me. And then he asked me to listen to this. And then I started listening that Mand probably early, about 11 o'clock, and then I finished about 5 p.m., repeatedly listening. And it's such a beautiful artwork, such a beautiful musical work. And her voice was almost, you know, celestial, almost seraphic. Then I heard from him actually that she is going to attend in a concert, and then I attended that concert, luckily, and then I managed to talk to her, and then I just said, would you be interested in if we just try to combine poetry and classical music somehow? And then I just, because I write poetry, probably I have a bit of convincing power. And then I managed to convince her in that stage, actually.
You write poetry in what language?
Both English and Bengali.
Great.
So, I mean, poets have quite a bad name of convincing people, probably.
They're persistent.
Rhetorics. I mean, they're probably they can. I mean, politicians are somehow blamed for rhetorics, but rhetorics is something a poet's work.
Yes.
Anyway. I quite luckily managed to convince her. I mean, because obviously she has such a great name in Indian. She's a scholar. She was a scholar of Sangeet Research Academy, the great musical institution, and she was the disciple of A.T. Kananji, and such a big name in Indian classical music. And then I wasn't sure whether she will respond to me and how she will see this, but 3 or 4 days after she responded to me, she said, well, let's see, because she was quite fastidious as well. She doesn't seem to fluctuate from traditional way of Indian classical music. But I was talking about the great impact if we just connect poetry, if we just connect Kathak dance, if we just connect other form of art, then we are expanding the network of Indian classical music. And she was intrigued by this idea. Then I just invited her to be the artistic director of Shauda. Quite fortunately, she said okay, and then Shauda's journey actually started, and we managed to. This time, actually, people quite luckily, in such a short period of time. I mean, from Bengali background in England, there is no significant organization to promote Indian classical music. You see Bhavan, they are not Bengali, either from Kolkata or Bangladesh. You see Darbar Festival, they are not. So Indian classical music was somehow, linked to non-Bengali people, actually non-Bengali art admirers.
Because in India, West Bengal is only a part of West Bengal.
Yeah, but I mean, India. But when you talk about Indian classical music, Bengalis have so much contribution to
most of the.
I mean,
most of the ustad.
And also, I mean, most of the ustads have a second home in Kolkata. But quite unfortunately, there is no any Bengali art, I mean, serious art organization. You will find some organizations, they organize a classical music event once in a blue moon. But there is no any professional art organization what is dedicated to promote Indian classical music to global platform with a vision. And then we started this journey because we are in a campaign to, like we always said, that we are in a campaign to create new audience of Indian classical music in the West. So where Ravi Shankar actually finishes, we try to start our journey from that point.
Great. Yeah. On that point, we'll take a break. And when we come back, I'm
Good.
sure that we will explore the possibilities of your work going further ahead.
Beautiful.
Thank you for being with us. At this point, we take a break, and when we come back, our journey will continue with you in the Indian classical music field. See you soon.